Hello, hello. This is going to be a video for the sign of Taurus. Oops, I forgot my water. Hold on a second, grab it. Okay. Alright, so, oops, right in front of the camera. My bad. Alright, so Taurus, let me get kind of comfortable in your energy here. Taurus, you guys are really quiet. I feel like you guys are contemplating. I feel like you guys are actually in a process right now. Sorry, it's a little bit it's like really, really bright. I'm trying to like combat that, but from the way that I'm sitting up against the window, it's just like inevitable. So really what I am feeling from you guys right now in the current space and time is I'm actually feeling more, I cannot get this camera how I want it to sit, so I'm so sorry if that makes noise. It's just I keep repositioning myself because I feel that it's I can't get comfortable. So I don't know if you guys are in a contemplation stage right now with something and you guys just don't feel comfortable with where you're at, or maybe you're just not happy with how things are. I didn't even set up my desk the way that I would typically set it up when I was sitting down to do your energy, and originally I was going to do water signs, but then I woke up today and I just felt earth, so we're just going to go with Taurus and go from there. So you're watching somebody, and my dog's going to open my door, I think. Nope, he's just going to sit outside in front of it instead. But anyway, so I feel like you guys are actually, I don't like the hair tie on my wrist. You guys are observing something, you're watching something from a distance, or somebody is watching you from a distance, or vice versa, or the both of you are doing it to each other. But whatever the case may be, it's a silent game. You guys are playing a silent game with each other. I don't know if you're dealing with someone who just kind of ghosted with communication and hasn't really spoken to you. It's because they're tied to that contemplation type of energy right now. Sorry about that. Okay. So you have the Imagine card. This really speaks to me about being in a different realm. This is being aloof, detached a little bit. I don't necessarily view this card as a bad thing. I more or less view this card as this Imagine card. I don't know if I can get the camera to focus on it because of how bright it is where I'm sitting. I think that's also very significant too, because there could be something very positive coming in your direction. With this Imagine card and Breathe, this is really taking time out to just deeply connect with yourself. And I feel like you're in the process of doing some housekeeping in your own world. You're doing housekeeping on the things around you and in your psyche. You're doing emotional house cleaning, physical house cleaning, relationship house cleaning. You're reevaluating something, you're looking at something, you're creating something, you're imagining something. There's also a focus on focusing on the breath as well is extremely important with things right now, especially with where you're at with what you're sitting in right now, because I feel like you're sitting on your own little island, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's more or less of you are trying to figure something out. You're manifesting something through your creative thought. You might be using the power of visualization and aligning Like, the power of aligning yourself with your thoughts is so, so powerful, because I don't think that people realize, like, how powerful their thoughts actually are. So when you focus your thoughts on positive things, you're more drawn to notice the positive results of it. Whereas if you just see things as negative, then that's kind of where things get a little bit jumbled up there. This is also a reevaluation time of, like, who do you want to be? What do you want to do? You might have some anxiety over this because you might be, like, going into a new life cycle in your life, or, like, exiting a life cycle in your life, starting a brand new one. And it's kind of like getting a blank slate to, like, begin what you actually want to do. Like, what do you need to, like, believe in when it comes to, like, living the life that you want? Like, what is the story that you've been telling yourself for the last couple years that just doesn't fit you anymore? This is the time to use your imagination, and it's the key to manifesting the life that you actually desire. So maybe working on a vision board might be very beneficial for you during this time. It's saying allow creativity to take over, and allow yourself to be more inspired in your everyday life. This is also talking about, I'm also, like, seeing a focus on, like, patience for, like, divine timing. Like, I don't know if you are questioning divine timing, or if you feel uneasy about divine timing, or, like, how it's not happening all at once right now. I feel like there's a focus for you to trust the process, to be patient, to focus on meditation and, like, breathing exercises, because that might be important for you. In my experience with Tauruses, they're very patient people, in general, when it comes to things, so I don't think you have a problem with being patient. I think it's more or less like you had some sort of an expectation of what a reality should look like by now, and it might not be exactly what you thought it would look like at this time. Make sure that you're not rushing yourself through any type of situation. Make sure that you're taking your time and allowing yourself to be present in the moment. Don't be too much of in a hurry right now. Maybe you're in the process of, like, looking through, like, you know, maybe you're talking to a couple different people and you're getting to know a couple different people, but, like, right now is really time to reflect on what you really want, and to don't rush things, but take your time and take a deep breath and let nature take its course. There's a big, huge emphasis on, like, releasing anxiety, and that there's no need to, like, hold on to it. So, like, be patient in the moment and be happy living in the present moment, because whatever you are in the process of doing right now is what you're meant to be working on. So, like, it kind of, like, I just hit my cards. It's like taking advantage of, like, life's little pleasures, and making sure that you're spending time with, like, people who actually feed a positive part of your soul. I have lotion on my arm and it's just got all over my desk, and I felt that. It's like, make sure that you're feeding yourself positivity, and that you're feeding yourself with, like, the blissfulness of life, and not getting too caught up in things, and not being too unfair on yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward. But yeah, this is really a time for you to, like, start something new. A time for creativity to take a hold, and just let the creative energy, like, splurge. Like, whatever you're investing your time into right now, whether it be, like, self-care or something that you've always wanted to do, like, you're going to be successful at it in one way, shape, or form. Like, you're going to have success. It's time to manifest and create something new in your life. Like, rewrite your chapter. And I feel like I've said that for another zodiac sign, but I can't really remember what reading that was. But I feel like I've had that message come through before. There's, like, a calm before the storm. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's like a... Yeah. So you have the appreciation card here, and this card for me is always appreciating someone from a distance. So you're taking time right now to manifest a possible new beginning with someone who you admire from a distance, or this is what somebody is thinking towards you, where they're looking at you as being, like, very successful, very abundant, very happy, very content with where you are. But there's also an energy of, like, It's like you're just watching something. You're watching somebody grow something. You also have a 6 and a 6. So you have 66 on here, which is very important. You also have the adjacent possibility card. So this card really speaks to me about endless possibilities, about what could potentially happen. Like you could have, like it's a multitude of opportunities and perspectives that are coming towards you. And whatever it is that you're focusing on, or that you're appreciating, or that you're admiring, like there's a potential for a lot of abundant possibilities. New doorways could be opening up. You could be given like new opportunities to create, or like a new job could open up, or new job opportunities, or some new opportunities might be presenting itself in order for you to recognize and to express gratitude, and to be like in that appreciative energy. Like you're going to be presented with that energy where all of a sudden you're just going to be grateful for the things that you have, or it's going to be like an overwhelming surge of energy of just like recognizing the things that you've worked for, and like really stepping into that power of just being like, wow, like I've accomplished this. Now, if you're admiring someone from a distance, you're thinking of all the possibilities that could move forward, especially with the 6s here. Now, you do have a 2 as well. You have 2, 2, 2, 2 on the board as well. I actually feel a rush of social anxiety. So I don't know if you have like an anxiety about talking to someone, or you have an anxiety about making contact with someone, but whatever these possibilities are that are being presented to you, you have to make a decision for your own journey. Like, you know, it's like you've already packed your bags, so you know what general direction that you need to go in, but now it's time to like really figure out the details of it. And you could have somebody who's observing you from a distance, or who's admiring you from a distance, or who you are admiring from a distance, and they're kind of part of this process. Now, you do have the envy card too, but that mainly, like, this card for me is more or less like being in a mindset of like not being super grateful for the things that you have, and like not recognizing that like everything that you have is exactly what should be. Like, it's kind of like going through a process right now of releasing like a mindset where maybe you are wishing and always like wanting more, but you're not being like present with the things that you have. Like, you're not recognizing that you are very blessed in the ways that you are blessed, but you're like admiring how other people are blessed, and you're comparing your situation with theirs, or somebody is comparing their situation with yours. And there's kind of like that like envious type of like, I want what they have, like I want what they have. But in reality, you should turn that focus, if it's you, turn that focus back on you and be like, I'm grateful for what I have. I love the things that I have. I hope that that makes sense. Now, you also have an energy here where if you're admiring someone from a distance, you're analyzing the possibilities of how this could be brought to par. Like, you're trying to manifest like some type of new opportunity here, where you are in the process of like reflecting on how you can get from point A to point B. It's like balancing out a situation. Like, how do I balance out a situation? And you might potentially see like other people who are also trying to do the same thing with that person. So maybe there's like not like competitive energy, but like this person definitely has a lot of people who like admire what they do, or like they get a lot of attention on social media, and it's like you might just be keeping an eye on that person, or that person is keeping an eye on you because they know that you have a lot of potential people who could be surrounding you, or who could be talking to you, or who could be interested in you, or, you know, it could be as subtle as that, where it's like this person's just trying to see like, okay, like what are my chances really? But there's an endless possibility here of just multiple things that could present itself to help you get on your journey. And there's also a need for you not to worry about so much of like what other people say, but to worry about like the good things, and to make decisions based on your soul's purpose and what your soul desires, and to know that you have endless possibilities coming towards you that you're going to be very grateful for, and that it's time to manifest something new. But there's a strong need for you to take time out to meditate and to think about what it is that you're going to go after, even though you might already have like a very strong idea of like a feeling or like a pull to something. They're saying like really take time out to reflect, really take time out to like sit and like get comfortable with whatever it is that you're thinking about or you're balancing out. But it looks like you're moving forward with something. But I think if this is your mindset where it's like you're kind of getting lost in like what other people have and forgetting what you have, then I feel like there's going to be a shift in your own perspective of realizing like that you have a lot to be appreciative of and you have a lot to be grateful for. And that's going to kind of change your perspective, which in return is going to open up endless possibilities for you to manifest going forward on your path. Because, I mean, to be completely honest, like, we all get bogged down with, like, everyday life. And, like, especially right now with these circumstances, maybe you're, like, cooped up in the house with, like, your family. And a lot of you guys, like, you know, usually have distance in between the day where it's like you're learning, like, more and more and more about people's personalities who are around you or who you might be in quarantine with. And it's like, okay, like, it's really easy to get wrapped up in the little annoyances of life, but it's those little annoyances that you can change that perspective to be like, oh wow, okay, like, this is kind of funny, or, you know, like, it is what it is, or, like, you know, this is just who they are. Like, you're coming to a peaceful place of acceptance of, like, where you are and, like, other people too. Now you have caring connections, which is very interesting. And it actually came out with the indecision card, but the indecision card fell on the ground. So you also have cornucopia at the bottom of the deck here, which is like abundance. So what this is telling me, and then you have the thinking man at the top of the deck. So I'm going to take all these into consideration here. So bear with me for a second. Somebody might be nervous to communicate something because every time I go to talk about relationships, I get a restriction in my breathing, which is more of like a cue for like anxiety to me, or like social anxiety, where it's like somebody might have something to say, but they are very nervous or unsure to say it or how to say it. But what this signifies is that you are surrounded in loving connections. Like, you have connections that are around you that are very supportive, that are very loving, that you might not see completely clearly yet because it's not exactly what you wanted, or it's not how you wanted it or how you expected it to come in. But it's also taking that time to reflect and see all the possibilities of something, where again, the indecision card I actually put right over top of the journey card, where it's like, which way are you going to go? What are you going to decide? Are you going to stay in something from the past, or are you going to move forward to something in the future, whether it be a new mindset, an old mindset, like whatever the case may be? Only you know. But you're going to have to take time out to think about that, because again, this also could have to do with cycles, where it's like you have a lot of new opportunities coming towards you, but you just have to maybe change your perspective on it a little bit, or the people around you might not have a very good perspective on the things that are going on. And so it's kind of like I don't want to say that other people are causing you to be stuck, but like sometimes when you're around other people a lot and you're an empath, like, and you're not protecting your energy, you're taking care of your energy in the way that is like disconnecting like that, so that you don't get wrapped up in shit like that. Because I know as an empath, with me, if like the people around me are super negative, like I will literally like wear it, and I'm like, Jesus, like I woke up, sorry, I didn't mean to say that, but I know some people, I don't mean to like say stuff like that in vain or anything like that. It's just kind of like a language I grew up with. But it's like one of those things where it's like, if I walk out and like the people around me are in such a negative, like heavy mood, all of a sudden, like, it's just all over me like a wet blanket, and it's so hard for me to get off sometimes. Like, it just really takes me to like get out of my environment and disconnect in order for me to like regain my perspective and be like, okay, wait a minute, those are not my emotions, those are the people around me, and I send them love. Like, but I don't have to carry that. You see what I'm saying? So be careful if it's not coming from you and if it's coming from the people around you. So just be mindful of that. But really, I do see there could be a masculine Taurus who's thinking about, like a masculine Taurus energy who's thinking about a connection that they have with somebody, and they're teetering between changing their perspective on it versus not changing their perspective on it, because it's like they see the potential and the possibilities, like there's endless possibilities, like this person really appreciates and admires you and cares about you, but then on the other side they have a very lack of mindset. So it's like they see what they want, what they can't have. or they want what they shouldn't have. So like this person has like maybe, like if you're a feminine energy, or if you know that you've been in feminine energy for a period of time and you've been dealing with somebody who's very stubborn and like very distant and like very like player like, that person kind of has a tendency to like have a wandering eye. So it's like whenever they see somebody who might have something like more shiny, they're like, ooh, they're really shiny, I'm gonna go after them. Ooh, somebody else has this, I'm gonna go after them. And that person might be coming to a hard cycle, or like a closing of like their lesson has been like basically dished back out to them. So they're being forced to see the things that they've done to a connection with someone who they truly do care about, but they might not have treated the best. And again, I'm not making excuses for this person, but this looks like somebody had to grow, or they had to like learn how to like, you know, mature in that aspect of like emotional connections with people, where they had a tendency to kind of just want what they shouldn't have, or want what everybody else has, really. And even though they had a connection right in front of them the whole time, or partial of the time, where it's like you could have somebody at a distance from you, like a distance as in like there's serious like travel involved, like you might be like a state or two away from a person, or like across the world from somebody at this point in time, but that other person who's on a masculine end is recognizing how they played a part in a situation, and they're taking that time out to think about manifesting something new, because there are multiple possibilities, multiple doorways, multiple things that could happen in this situation. And really what it comes down to is, what does the soul truly want? What does the soul desire? So you have a masculine energy who's trying to figure that out, and then you have a feminine energy who's already on the path of figuring it out and going with what the feminine's true love and desire is, even though there might be an energy of just being like frustrated and just being like, oh, I wish things were different. Like you're taking time out and you're like, okay, you know what, things aren't different, but I'm happy with my circumstance because it's my circumstance, and I'm happy and I'm grateful for what I have. So that's really what I see with that. And I say a masculine energy because we have the thinking man card at the top of the deck. So but what it comes down to is abundance, and having like all that you need taken care of. Like all your needs are met, everything's taken care of, like you're happy, you're satisfied, you're living your life. That's really what it comes down to. So the numbers 2233 just popped up to me. At least it wasn't on the floor. At least the cards didn't fall on the floor. Oh. So you have the Eight of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles here. So you're working towards something that's very stable. You're moving towards some type of stability, or there's a masculine energy who's working hard to gain stability, where they are, it's like somebody's just working very hard. Somebody's very structured, they're very grounded, they know what they want, they bear the fruits of their labor is really what it comes down to. Is this person, they bear the fruit of their labor, and you could be dealing with a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, so this could be you in masculine energy, where it's like you are working hard to achieve something, and it's like I see somebody working hard, working, and then they come to a position where they are the King of Pentacles, and they're like, wow, I'm really grounded, I'm secure, I have something to offer. You know, this is my land, this is my home, this is my homestead, whatever the case may be. I'm very grounded, very secure, very logical in the sense of staying grounded. Like this person knows how to manifest, they know how to ground things, they know how to be successful at them. Could even be a little bit of an entrepreneur here. This person has been working very hard towards something, putting their creative energies at work, manifesting what it is that they want. They have a great appreciation for what they do. There are endless possibilities. This person sees the endless possibilities. We have the Fool here. This is somebody wanting to take a leap of faith, being guided by the moon, guided by the stars, guided by their intuition. I'm sorry if you can hear that. I have neighbors very close to my house, and they are just choosing to weed whack right here, right now, even though they weren't doing it all day. I'm so sorry. It's like you're trying to, it's like you're trying to clear the path for something. You're trying to clear some type of path, or this King of Pentacles is trying to clear the path here. They want a new start with something. They definitely want a new start with something. They're ready to take their next step on their journey. This person might have detached from you because, or vice versa, you might have detached versus they might have detached. But whatever the case may be, it looks like this King of Pentacles energy honestly pulled back because they needed to work on their work. They want it to become stable. They want it to ground some type of situation that they were working on in the past. And so they weren't seeing things from a relationship or an emotional standpoint. They were thinking more about like, okay, how can I be stable? Because this person might be the type of person who looks at security as stability, where it's like for them to have something to offer to bring to the table, they need to feel stable and they need to feel secure and they need to feel like they have, you know, the material possessions or the ability to have the material possessions somewhat comfortable in order for them to feel like they can approach. But this is working very hard towards something, and it's taking a leap of faith. And then you're followed by the Ace of Cups here. So with this Ace of Cups, this tells me that somebody knows, somebody's like choosing to love themselves enough to like go on some type of journey. They're choosing to heal like a mindset, to heal something within themselves, so that it's like filling up their own cup before they can offer it to somebody else. Like this person had to literally fill their own cup in order to feel like they were worthy of offering it to someone else. Now you have the Five of Wands and you have the Strength in reverse. And the Strength card in reverse in the vice versa deck actually has the Devil in it. So I think that that's very interesting because this person has had to overcome and battle a lot of like competitive energies, whether they feel like you have a lot of like people around you or you feel like they have a lot of energies around you. They feel like they've had to battle to get to wherever they are. This person's also overcome a lot of things in their life where maybe they didn't always have the easiest of, you know, roads to walk when it comes to, you know, certain things. So this person has had to learn things in a very harsh, in a very long, enduring way that's actually made them a very strong person. So maybe emotionally they're very mature with their emotions, but they definitely don't always express in the ways that they need to. But part of their lesson was to take that leap of faith, to know that what they deserve and to nourish themselves first in order for them to come back into battle, because whatever it is that they went through, like they really needed strength to get through. So this person might actually feel like they've had to like battle people in order to get to you, because they see how much like maybe you are somebody who generates a lot of positivity. So like a lot of people respond to you, a lot of people comment on your stuff. 2828 just popped up when I said that. That's also 1010. So maybe a lot of people, maybe there were just a lot of people who were like fighting for your attention and stuff. So this person just kind of like had like a lack of mindset towards it, where they're like, oh, this will never happen, this won't happen, blah blah blah. And that's kind of what held them back, because like they had to have strength, because it's like they know that there was a connection that was worth holding on to. So this person held on. And that's basically the message that I'm getting with that, is that there was something that had to be tamed within that person, and it could have had to do with like the material realm, whether it be an addiction, whether it be a recovery, whether it be materialism, whatever the case may be. When it came to a connection, there was something very unhealthy. It could have even been codependency, where this person just had to learn to be independent. But whatever it is, it's being done very successfully, because I see that there is some type of like combative energy surrounding this. Now, I do feel like that if this person takes a leap of faith towards you, or if you take a leap of faith towards someone else, there is going to be a feeling of conflict. There is going to be a feeling of conflict, but see, with the Ace of Cups being here, that tells me that there's enough confidence to overcome it and that there's enough emotional capacity to overcome it. Because somebody's very confident in what they can offer. There's an energy, and it's a masculine energy. They're very confident with what they can offer. So it's like this person, like the way that I'm seeing it, it's like they've been preparing for this moment very strategically in the background, and now they're kind of taking action towards it. Where it's like they might want to show you that they care. Whereas maybe in the past they didn't always do that. Then you have the Three of Pentacles here. So this tells me that somebody wants to come in and work on something. It's like somebody's finally getting up off their throne and coming towards you to work on something together. But there was a lot that this person had to overcome in the process of it. This person had to overcome a lot of like karma, lessons, cycles, like whatever it was. There had to have, like, divine timing's at play here. So there's a need for you to trust the divine timing in whatever situation this is, if it resonates for you. But again, if it doesn't resonate for you, just remember that, like, it's a general reading and not everything is meant to resonate with everybody, and that there are a ton of readers who are really, really good at what they do, who have great messages where you might find something in their video that resonates for you. So with this, we do have the Five of Pentacles with the Knight of Cups. So somebody feels like they're left out in the cold, or somebody feels like they were left out in the cold, or somebody had they felt like they were financially restricted and that they couldn't make an offer. But this is somebody coming back around with an apology. So this might be the King of Pentacles coming back in as the Knight of Cups, because they're like, hey, like, this is what was going on, blah, 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 I'm sorry. Or this is some type of offer of, like, it's like an apology, really. It's like they felt like they had the battle to get to you, for sure. There was some type of battle to get to where they were, and it could have been a battle in their own head. But really what it comes down to is this person felt left out in the cold and they want to build something. And see, with the Three of Pentacles on this side, there's two people present in the card, which means that two people present and willing to work together to achieve something, and some type of contract involved with it. So after this person, like, overcomes whatever conflict this is, whether it be internal, external, or physical conflict, if that's what they feel like there's competition of some sort, like, because this is more passionate conflict. Like, this is the Five of Wands, not the Five of Swords. So with the Five of Wands, there's more people involved. So this person might have just been, like, watching you from a distance, have all these, like, people kind of give you attention and stuff, which kind of, you know, sped up their process of wanting to come forward sooner. And they're just like, hey, you know what, I gotta make a decision, because obviously I'm not happy with the way that this played out. Maybe they know that they owe you an apology, or maybe you know that you owe somebody an apology, and it's kind of like getting to that build up where it's about to kind of just fall out here. Because with the Knight of Cups and the Five of Pentacles, this could have been somebody who felt like you left them out in the cold, where you could be at a distance from them and they're watching you be successful, they're watching you be happy, they're watching you live your life, they're watching you, like, work on things that you love working on and be successful at it. They're watching you manifest, like, the life that you deserve, and they're just kind of, like, watching you like, wow, like, what can I bring to the table? Do I want to take a leap of faith? Like, am I going to love myself enough to know what I deserve? Like, they have to make this decision in their own world. But you're dealing with somebody who definitely has a stubborn streak. Very stubborn. Very stubborn. Or it's you, Taurus. Either this is coming from your perspective, or this is the person that you're dealing with, or that you're connecting with at a distance. I don't feel like you have communication with this person, because I feel like there's a silent treatment going on, where I feel like this King of Pentacles is going to come out of nowhere, where it's like you're not going to expect their message, or you're not going to expect their phone call, you're not going to expect them to just randomly come back out from the cold. Now, there's also another situation that could have went down where a feminine energy left a masculine energy out in the cold because of, obviously, his indecision and inability to make a choice and commit to something. So the feminine energy left and went and did their own thing, and the masculine's kind of like, oh shit, like, I didn't think that they would actually do that, or I didn't think she would actually do that, or I didn't think he would actually do that, or I didn't think that that would actually happen to me. I didn't think that, you know, they could just stop giving me attention. Like, there's a little bit of arrogance here. So you could have been dealing with somebody who's a little bit arrogant, who definitely gets a lot of attention from other people, but I can tell you that they don't really, it's not that they don't like seeing you get attention from other people, but it definitely kind of stirs their pot up a little bit, because you might have been the one who ghosted them, and because you chose not to respond to them, it sent them through like a massive shift of like ego because they're like, what? Like, maybe they were used to being the ones who would always ghost you, and like they would just not reply to you. So then finally when they messaged you and you chose not to reply to them, they were just kind of like, excuse me, like what? So it was kind of like a dose of their own medicine. So that's kind of how I see it, because somebody found self-love and they found the power and the strength to do so, regardless of the contract. You see what I'm saying? Because there was an obvious connection between two people, but somebody was just being way too stubborn about it. Yeah, you could be dealing with an Aquarian energy or somebody who is an Aquarius, but again, masculine energy, you're both in masculine energy. So the feminine and the masculine are in, like, if you're dealing with two different energies here, if you know that you're dealing with someone else, you know that you're connecting with someone else, you're both in masculine energy. One of you is the King of Pentacles, one of you is the King of Swords. The King of Swords is not taking anybody's bullshit either. They are somebody who is not to be tested, because the King of Swords is definitely somebody who is very smart, very analytical, and can cut through a lot of bullshit. So this Knight of Cups energy is going right towards the King of Swords. And it's kind of like, yeah, what do you have to say to me kind of thing. Like, what you know, like, watch what you say. Like, I'm analyzing everything that you say. I'm going to pick apart all of your words. And the King of Pentacles is like, oh, no, like, don't worry about that. Like, I got this in the bag. Like, this King of Pentacles is very arrogant looking, especially from my perspective looking at this card right now. And I don't typically see this King of Pentacles being arrogant. But the face that they have is kind of an arrogant face. I don't know what that noise is. I think it's a bird. Maybe you guys can hear it. I don't know, because I'm sitting right next to the window. So it's like you're meeting this person with like intellect and logic and no bullshit. Like, you have armor on and you're like, hold up. Hold your horses. And this King of Pentacles is like, I have something to offer you now. And this King of Swords is like, hold your horses. Like, we're going to talk about this. So, Three of Wands, this could have been something that you've been waiting on for a while, or maybe you've known that you were going to get some type of communication, but this is more of like the Three of Wands, where for me as a reader, it's like you see it in the distance, but it's not quite here yet, so that could mean some time is taking for this to manifest, again, divine timing. And what's your advice, Taurus? So your advice is to just stand down. Is to stand down. Like, something's being tempered. Like, it's saying, like, you have the Emperor in reverse with the Four of Wands here, and then at the top of the deck you have Temperance. So something's being balanced out. So maybe don't be so guarded towards something. Maybe don't feel so like... It's like, be satisfied with the battles that you've been through. Be satisfied with what you've achieved so far. Like, stand your ground on your beliefs. Defend your beliefs. Stand your ground. Speak your mind. But don't be so quick to like jump to conflict. I'm not quite sure if that resonates or not, but that's really what I'm hearing is, you know, don't be quick to like jump off into a battle, but be stern and be aware, like, and be stern with how you feel and communicate it clearly and defend your beliefs. You know, obviously, like, don't let this person just come in and schmooze you, because obviously something's being balanced out in the process, especially with the Emperor and the Four of Wands here. But the Emperor in reverse here is that the Emperor is looking at something from a distance, but again, just be firm with yourself and know enough, like, know what you truly want. Like, know enough to say, hey, like, this is how I feel. Like, don't just jump right into emotion, but just be like, hey, like, you know, I'm not the same person that I was in the past. This is how I feel now. And this is how I would, you know, appreciate you to deal with my feelings, or something like that. I'm not sure what that means, but you guys get the general idea of what I'm saying, I hope. So, could be dealing with somebody a little bit older than you, could be dealing with somebody who's, again, a business owner or some type of entrepreneur, somebody who works hard to achieve what they want, they work hard to achieve what it is that they need to get. This Emperor energy might be watching you from a distance. They might think that you have somebody else in your life right now, or maybe they're questioning whether or not you have somebody else in your life right now. If there is no other person in your spread, this is standing up for your beliefs, defending your beliefs, working hard towards your goals, working hard regardless of what people say towards achieving your goals financially, creatively, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of people who do support you, but you just might need to overcome a few obstacles when it comes to like self-doubt and like, you know, feeling like you have to compete for something. Maybe you're in a competitive job field, but you are being admired. There are a lot of opportunities around you that are opening up, and multiple ways for you to take the next phase of your journey. You might be at a little bit of a crossroads, indecision. Take time out, meditate, and think about it. That's really what it comes down to. But I do see that this person is going to watch you from the time being. If you are connecting with another individual here, they are watching you. They're watching you grow. They're watching you succeed. They're watching you build. And not to say that they're not happy for you, but there's definitely a 5 of Pentacles, feeling left out in the cold type of emotion that they are carrying. So if that person chooses to come forward, then obviously you'll know how to deal with it. Use your best discernment. Other than that, don't ever wait around for anybody. Keep doing what you do, and keep loving yourself and loving your life and loving the wonderful, glorious things that life has to offer you, specifically for you, because what is meant for you will always be for you, and what is not for you might just be the universe's way of saving your ass. So just keep that in mind. Again, I hope these messages help. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. I love you guys so much. Stay safe, and I hope everybody's doing well. I can't wait to connect with you soon. Take care.